Energy is contagious. You ever be around somebody that got an attitude? Now you got an attitude. Now you're mad too, okay? Or you're kind of down, you feel kind of sad, but you get around your friends, they start telling jokes. You might crack a smile. Even though you want to act like you still sad. You want to maintain. Energy is contagious. It is my personal belief that the Bible sentiment that says do not be of the world, it means to not be corrupted by the energy of the world, not to let the obstacles, the oppression, the trauma weigh down your soul. The traditional belief, or at least the one that I was taught, was to be homely. You know, don't wear weave, don't wear makeup, keep it, just keep it homely. Keep it, what's the word that I'm looking for? I'm so sorry. I have to look it up now. Virtuous, saintly. I need to know the word pious. Yes, pious, bitch. That's the word. Pious. It means to be pious and humble. And you just stay out the way. But I don't think that's what it means. I think that the feminine has been demonized. And anything where you kind of like revel in your femininity and express it outwardly has also been demonized. But that's a different topic. To illustrate my point today, I will be referring to the show Avatar: The Last Airbender. Some might say, like, why are you referring to a children's show? Because it's quality programming, because it's deep and intellectual, because even years later, people are still thirsting for the sequel. It's a powerful body of work, yes. Okay, so let's get into it. So in the last episode, Sozin's comment part 4, okay? Aang has to take out the Fire Lord. Now he's grappling with his feelings about this because he's an air nomad. He's a vegetarian. He's a pacifist. The ways of the air nomad people are to evade and use intellect to avoid conflict. So he's not really for the whole. We get to the critical moment of battle where Aang enters the avatar state where he bends all 4 elements, okay? And then he's about to strike the Fire Lord, okay? But he stops. He says, no, not like this. And then the Fire Lord is like, you're still weak. And then the Fire Lord tries to do a little 1-2. You know what I mean? But Aang traps him with his earth bending. Then, Aang goes into his little Aang state. And we see a flashback where we see him meet with the lion turtles, who are the original benders. And the lion turtles tell him to bend another's energy. Your energy must be unbendable. Your energy must be uncorruptible. Now, to give you some backstory on Fire Lord Ozai, he's a colonizer. He's an oppressor. He's running around colonizing all the other places. He's power hungry. His ancestors, his grandfather, power hungry. Okay, this is a very powerful energy, a very dark aura. You do understand the gravitas of what Aang is trying to accomplish. This is a dark force. Let me tell you what's going on. Ancestrally, the Fire Lord's granddaddy, the previous Avatar Roku, whom was his best friend. He left his best friend, the previous Avatar Roku, to die. Okay, that's how cold-blooded they are. So Aang is facing a very powerful energy. We see him bending Fire Lord Ozai's energy in an attempt to take away his bending. And we almost see a moment where Aang is corrupted by the Fire Lord's energy. Just for it's like one eye is left. Aang is able to overpower the Fire Lord, remove the bending. This is a great feat. He's overcome a lot of obstacles in doing this. For one, first of all, when he popped up out the iceberg, everybody gone. Everybody gone. The whole village burned down. The whole village gone. Then he has to deal with the scrutiny of the world saying, where the fuck was you? You failed us. Then he has to deal with countless battles where he's forced to flee, he's forced to leave. One of the battles was the Day of Black Sun. Now let me remind you, the Day of Black Sun was when there was going to be an eclipse and the Fire Nation was not going to have any power. He still was not able to defeat the Fire Nation. He felt like he let the world down. That was another letdown. You know, that was another moment where he felt that he failed, and he felt conquered by the oppression of the Fire Nation, because the Fire Nation was an oppressive force. They were the colonizers of the show, period. And he did face oppression. I know he looked white, but he's Asian, and he did face oppression in the show. Yes, they all did. Yes. And then another example was when Azula shot that nigga out the sky. All through all these losses, these failures, these oppression, these obstacles, he still triumphed against the Fire Nation. Yes. And let me remind you that he defeated them on the day that they were most strongest. And he did it remaining true to his principles. Power to the people. And he did it. Girl, I'm delirious. What is the rest of the video? Gotta pull up my script. Gotta pull up my script, cause I don't know. Like, I'm getting delirious. Bitch, I'm getting tired. In closing, Aang faced a lot of obstacles, a lot of oppression, a lot of setbacks, a lot of things that weighed heavily upon him. However, he persevered by remaining true to himself, remembering who he was, remembering his power, and even in a moment where he was forced to battle against a darker energy, the same energy that took everything away from him, he was able to stay rooted and grounded enough in himself to cancel out the threat. It was sometimes when you face these oppressive systems, you're constantly in a state of reacting because you feel like, well, if this doesn't work and this doesn't work, I guess I'll change. But I don't want to bend around the world. I don't want to be corrupted by the world. I want the world to bend around me. I want to be who I am for my pride and be rooted in that and remember that and not let the oppression, the obstacles, the trauma I face corrupt my soul. Life can feel so heavy that you forget who you are and you just become burdened. And it's really important to remember who you are.